All right, let's now shift our attention to the other big story that we are tracking on WION. This, of course, has got to do with a big budget bill proposed by the American President Donald Trump that will be reviewed by the Senate this week. As a fresh session begins, the budget package is expected to witness a greater pushback from the senators than it did in the House. The House Speaker Mike Johnson has shifted his focus on the Republican senators, quoting the party lawmakers to ensure that there are minimal changes that are suggested to Donald Trump's one big budget bill. Now, to achieve a balance in diverse Republican views, in response to Johnson's comments, Senate's Majority Leader John Thune has said that the Senate will have its imprint on the bill, indicating that changes are inevitable, as rebellion within the GOP remains pretty strong. The Trump administration can afford to lose only about 3 Republican votes in the Senate in this situation that all Democrats vote against the bill, and there are no absences. Just last week, the Republican Senator Ron Johnson had also warned that enough number of GOP senators are opposed to this bill. Cuts to Medicaid and also a monumental increase in debt are key reasons for the pushback. And amidst the criticism from the Red Camp itself, the non-partisan Congressional Budget Office has estimated that the bill will add another $2.3 trillion to the federal deficit over a span of 10 years. Now, 2 weeks ago, the House passed the bill with barely one vote, and even Trump's trusted advisor Elon Musk had criticized the bill towards the end of his special government employee tenure. Now, Musk remains skeptical of the scale and also the several provisions of this bill that Trump championed and backed by calling it one big, beautiful bill. But the billionaire who headed the Department of Government Efficiency feels otherwise. Now, Elon Musk said that he is disappointed by the amount of money that has been earmarked in the spending bill and said that it undermines the work that the Doge team has been doing. And our correspondent Susan Tehrani, of course, is joining us with more details from New York. Susan, this is a very important piece of legislation. There's a lot that is riding for Donald Trump. He called it the one big, beautiful bill. Now, tell us, why is there not enough consensus, even amongst the Republicans, to back this bill?
Yeah, it all comes down to local elections at the end of the day. These senators need to go home and justify why they signed these bills. Ultimately, they will get to it. But as you mentioned, there is concern about cuts to Medicaid and also how it will probably make low-income Americans get on these programs a lot harder because, able-bodied individuals need to work and then get it. This is what the House says. So the senators are going to talk about that. And then they're going to talk about, the fiscal conservatives. They're going to come forward and say it doesn't make enough cuts. And then there is concern about, the very strict rules on student loan. There's already a shortage of doctors because of the high cost of education here in the United States. So this is a concern that, more individuals may not want to study medicine because of student loan rules. And then tax cuts in blue states. They're called the SALT Act. So, those are issues that congressmen here in New York and other states like California and congresswomen were very adamant in the House. But then when it goes to the Senate, some lower tax states are going to be concerned with that. These are some of the provisions they're probably going to talk about. Speaker Johnson and President Trump knew that senators are going to be making changes. As you mentioned, they just hope that these changes are minor and they can get this big, beautiful bill across the finish line before July 4th.
Right. Will be interesting to see as to how it unfolds. Thank you very much, Susan Tehrani, for joining us with all those details there.